Hello, it is 88 degrees and we're gonna go pick up my son. My husband got a barbecue pit. It looks like a little coffin, but it's a barbecue pit. And my tree, I keep telling my other son that my tree wants to die. You can't even tell that it's there, but it is there. It gave me gardenias a couple of weeks ago. I cut them because they were starting to turn like yellow and dry. So I cut them and it made my kitchen smell really, really nice. But then I haven't gotten any more. Now it's like dying. Put that up. Well, you all, yesterday was a pretty chill day. But today, I don't know. I was like, I wasn't feeling it. I don't know how else to put it. I told myself, okay, you're going to sweep and mop and clean the bathrooms, and then tomorrow you'll just dust. And I ended up not doing any of that. Well, I did my hair, like I did my roots and all, because it looked hideous already. And I made lunch, dinner. Then I took my son to work. But, I mean, I started again to miss my mother. And I was like, I miss you, Mom. You know, I know you're here. I know I can talk to you, but I miss you. And then I started talking to God, like, God, why do I miss you so much all of a sudden? Like, this is not like, this is weird. It's not like me, you know, to be constantly missing my mom. I mean, she passed 5 years ago. Why all of a sudden am I missing her so much, you know? Not that I didn't miss her before, but all of a sudden I just started missing her so much. And you know, I'm gonna ask, this wasn't even the plan for me to ask this. Oh, there's a little puddle of water over here. But is there a time period where you need to stop grieving? Like, do people get sick and tired of hearing you grieve? Because I heard something like that. I heard like, okay, you're already like 60 years old, and not that I'm 60, but you know, you're 60 years old, so you lost your mom or your dad, and they were this and this to you. Get over it. You know, is there an age that you get where you get over it? Do you even get over it? I don't know. It's just weird to me. And sometimes I tell myself, okay, I'm not even like, how should I say? I'm not in mourning. I just miss her. And then also, you know, all the stuff that happened between us and stuff, I don't even think about it anymore. Now I just think about her, like how I want to go to her house and visit her. It's weird. And I need her to get after me. You know, whenever I would feel depressed, she would get after me. And I would get over it. Because, I don't know, I guess she would make me mad by getting after me. But I would get over it. It would work. And then also, as I mentioned before, when she says everything's going to be all right, it's going to be all right. And I don't have anybody to tell me that now. I mean, I do have God, but, and that should be enough. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I wish I had, like, a friend or another relative that can tell me, you know, everything will be all right. Wow, there's a lot of customers tonight. Yesterday, I didn't upload. I recorded yesterday, and I didn't upload the video because there was actually a customer that got mad at me because he got here. I haven't completely deleted the video. Maybe I should upload it anyway. But he got here and he was asking me if they were still open inside, and I'm like, how the hell should I know? And I would tell him, you know, like, I'm waiting for my son. Oh, okay, but are they open? And I'm like, oh, didn't I just tell you that I was waiting for my son? Like, I don't work here, you know, like, I don't work here. And then I was like thinking about, I was telling the story yesterday about the grocery store, how everybody's always asking me, like, what aisle is this on and stuff like that. And I would tell them, and sometimes I would take them to that aisle, but I'm like, I don't work here either. I don't work here. You know, like, why is everybody asking me questions? I don't work here. I don't work. And then I was thinking about that earlier. Believe it or not, when I was missing my mom and I was talking to God about missing my mom, I even said to God, I miss working. Like, I want to go to work again. I want to see other people. You know, I want to talk to other people. And then I started thinking about all the stress that I went through, you know, before. And then I was like, but I don't have to work in that type of environment. I can choose a different environment to work at. Like, that's the thing, you know, like, once you're my age and you have experience, your options are bigger. You're not limited like before. However, I will say that I haven't worked in a while, so it might be limited. I don't know, but I believe I have God's favor. And, you know, where I want to work, you know, I would like for it to be part-time, or if it's going to be full-time, only Monday through Friday. I do not want to work Saturday or Sunday. I want those days to be mine. I've already gotten really spoiled and used to those days being mine. I guess I'll just repeat it. You know, when I went to the dealership, the finance manager was telling me I should start work. You know, I could work there. I should work there. I should apply. And I thought about it, and it is perfect because during the week it's part-time. However, I would be expected every other Saturday, and every other Saturday it would be 8 or 8:30 to either 6 or 7 o'clock. In other words, you're going to spend the whole Saturday there. And yeah, don't make any plans on that Saturday. And that's the only thing that I don't like about the dealership. But, you know, where I would like to work would be more like, I'm going to have to answer that survey. There was a survey that I was sent. I went to the dermatologist yesterday, and I spoke about that in the other video too. And I got a survey about how I liked my experience there. And I was like, you know, I really liked it a lot, that I wouldn't mind working there, you know, because the vibe there was just so laid back, but yet professional. Like, there was nobody uptight. There was nobody like getting after anybody, you know, and they all seemed to get along. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. A place like that where everybody's going to get along. When you work in a bigger job where there's many employees, you would think you would get along better because there's so many employees. You'll probably never see each other, you know, that much. The same people, I mean. However, no. It's actually worse. Because when I first started at the dealership, it was small, but then we moved into the new building and it was still small. I loved it like that. And then all of a sudden, more and more people started coming, you know, like from the other dealership, and I was like, I don't really like this, you know. And then let me move up before I continue, because there was a couple of cars parked there. Oh, here come the other customers coming out. And they were all parked like in between the lines because there's nobody else here. So anyhow, it was perfect the way that it was before because it was just men. And there was only like me and maybe 2 other girls, and that's it. But then when the other people started coming, it was more female, and then they started hiring more female sales people, and that's where all the drama started. The more, and I know that I'm a woman and I'm not a misogynist, but the more females that we had, the more drama, you know, and it became very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. I believe that girls, look, at the dermatologist, it was all female also, but they had a good vibe together. You know, from my impression, everybody was so friendly, professional. They went out of their way for me. And even the female doctor was she was just wonderful. I have never experienced such a wonderful doctor in my life. And I've told you all the experiences that I've had. And so I'm not misogynistic. It's just the type of female that you are, you know. And some of you have a bad vibe, sorry, but some of you have a really bad vibe and you bring it with you, and yeah, you ruin it for everybody. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I have to be very careful if I want to do something like that and where, because I don't want any problems. I'm too old for that crap, you know. And then I also thought about working from home, like doing customer service, but working from home. And that's something that I'm really, really going to look into, because I really wouldn't mind that, being at home and being on the computer. I'm on it all day anyway. Might as well get paid for it. So I'm really going to like really look into all this and see what my options are and talk to my husband about it and stuff. And he don't mind. He'll be happy with whatever decision I make. I just feel like I need something, you know. And even at where I go for counseling, you know, I wouldn't mind working there. However, now that I'm going back to counseling, now they have like 2 other people up front, and they're just, you know, having conversations about what they ate for dinner last night, or they're gonna go this weekend, and yada yada yada. To me, that's not very professional when you have patients in the room. It's a very small area and everybody can hear you, and I just feel like that needs to be kept on the low, you know. Maybe whisper to each other, but don't let everybody know, you know, oh, you're going to this club, or oh, you had this for dinner, and oh, your girlfriend's gonna make this, and oh, my husband's gonna make that. And you know, to me, that's just not very professional when the patients can hear what you're saying. And that's just my opinion, okay? And speaking of doctors, I'm finally my appointment came up to go to the new doctor tomorrow. I'm not really nervous, and I think I should be, because I know they're going to want blood tests and everything, and then that's where everything's going to start all over again, you know. But I feel like with this doctor, it's going to be better. I just have that feeling. When I was looking through the doctors, I already had that doctor in mind. And then when I asked my neighbor, who used to be a nurse, she recommended him right off the bat. And I said, wait a minute, is he located over here? Da, 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 da. And she's like, yeah, that's him. And I said, oh my God, that's confirmation, you know, because I've been praying about finding another doctor for a while now, and God just put him in my path, you know. And the fact that you were a nurse and you're recommending him, he must be good. And she goes to him also, by the way, and she already told him about me. She went to an appointment the other day, and she texted me, and she was like, oh Moon, I told him about you, and make sure you let him know that I recommended you, and this is my last name, and da 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 da. Not that she's gonna get any referral fee or anything, but she just, you know, I guess she wants to look good, which is fine, you know. I'll let him know. But yeah, that's happening tomorrow. The other wellness check that I have coming up on the 1st, I might have to postpone that to later in the month, because I need, I know they're going to want to do tests over here. I know they're going to want to do blood work, and I need to make sure that I have all that gathered before that appointment, because the gynecologist wants to see my blood work before anything, you know, before they start recommending, you know, any type of hormone therapy and stuff like that. So, yeah, I got to do that first. Oh, I'm getting cold. Oh, excuse me. I'm surprised that I'm sleepy, because a lot of my mood today had to do with last night. I picked up my son, and he's like, I'm kind of hungry. Do you want Taco Bell? And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I'll take you, but I don't. And then, as soon as we get to the drive-thru, hey, will you give me the chicken cantina bowl? And he's like, I asked if you want anything. Yeah, get it. Just order it. And so I ordered that for me, and he got the something box. I forgot what it's called. It wasn't the deluxe box. Or was it? No. It was called something else. Anyway, he got that, and he paid for it. We got home. I was gonna like wait to eat my bowl till today, because I'm like, it's kind of late. It's 10:30. I never eat this late. What am I thinking? I'll just eat it tomorrow. Well, it smelled so freaking good. I ate it. And it was good. It was really, really good. But then I couldn't sleep. I was up till midnight, and finally I fell asleep at midnight. You know, had to go brush my teeth again. I fell asleep at midnight, and then I woke up at 3 in the morning, thinking that it was already like 6 or 7. And I looked at my phone, and I was like, oh my God, it's barely 3. So I, you know, you get up, as women, we get up, we go pee, come back to bed, and I was struggling to sleep again. And I finally fell back to sleep. I put somebody on, I don't remember who I put on, that was live, or they did a live, and it was just, I was watching the replay. I was listening, more like, not really watching, and I was able to fall asleep. However, I was up again at 6 o'clock. So basically, I just napped here and there, you know, until I woke up. And I woke up fine. You know, I made breakfast, then I started working on lunch, dinner, and then all of a sudden it hit me, and I was like feeling really down. I brought my son to work. And I was like, maybe I'm just hungry, because I was a little hungry already. I ate breakfast earlier than my son, and then it was already going to be like 5:30, and I hadn't had anything else. Usually I eat in the morning, and then I'll have lunch, dinner around 4:30, and I'm done. I'm already done eating for the day. But this time it was a little longer, and I was feeling it. I was getting that hangry, but yet I was feeling more down than hangry. And on the way home, I was telling myself, like, maybe you'll feel better after you eat. You just need some food in you. You'll feel better. And then nobody had gone live all day, except for one person. And that person gets irritated when you listen to them. Like, it's like, why do you go live then? You know, like, you go live and then you complain that, why is everybody staring at me? Because you're there, you're live, and people are bored, and some people are actually doing other stuff while listening. I was actually doing laundry while listening, you know, and making lunch, dinner, whatever, serving myself, heating it up, bringing it to my room, you know, thinking about other stuff. I understand that there's people that, you know, the trolls that like to watch just so they can gather information and clip it or talk about it or post about it. However, not everybody's like that. You know, there's a lot of people that'll just sit back and watch. And that's me. And so I finally just clicked off, and I was like looking for something else to watch. But then around that time, like I said, when I got back home, that I served myself some supper and everything, immediately another person that I like to watch went live, and I was like, yes, thank you. Why? Because it'll get my mind off of how I feel, you know? And so I was listening to them, and then another person went live, so I was listening. I paused that one, and I went to the other person, and then I was kind of like already like, okay, I've had enough of this person. So I went back to that guy and listened to him, and then another person came on, so I clicked off of that guy, and I went to the other guy. And you know, it's just different people that I watch. It's never the same people, but they're how should I say it? I'm subbed to them. It just depends what they're talking about, if it's something of interest to me or not. And I finished eating, I finished putting laundry away, I finished all my laundry. And then I decided, okay, let me do the dishes, and I started to do my bike. Once I started to do my bike, I started to feel better. And I feel better now than I did earlier. However, I don't like when I feel that way, because I can't shake off that feeling. It's a weird feeling, and I can't shake it off right away. And I don't like that. I mean, I was to the point where I wanted to call my counseling office and tell them, you know, can I have an appointment sooner? Because my appointment isn't until July the 4th. She went 3 weeks span this time instead of 2 weeks. And, you know, when I go back, I am going to let her know, like, can we do it in 2 weeks again? I don't want to wait 3 weeks. This time it was a little longer, and I was kind of freaking out already. She'll understand. And so, yeah, I was close to calling and see if I can go next week or something, because I was feeling that bad. I'm pretty sure she was already booked this week. It's Thursday. But, you know, this isn't me, though. Like, this isn't me. I know I've been through this my whole life, but I thought I was over this. I thought I was doing way better, and now all of a sudden it's hitting me again, and I don't like it. Just like the anxiety, you know, we got out of the other apartment, we got into this one, yeah, at first I was a little, anxious because I was feeling that anxiety because I was like, everything had to be put away. I had to organize. But once I did all that, I was like, oh, I like it here. I really, really like it here, But then all of a sudden, I'll be sitting there watching something. And that's another thing, you're talking about somebody that would always watch something on TV, and now I don't even look at the TV. I have it on just to hear it, but I'm not even looking at it. So I'll be sitting there trying to watch, desperately trying to focus on watching something. And then all of a sudden I start shaking and I feel like my world's about to end. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I feel sick. And I start telling myself all this, and I have to stop myself and be like, you're okay. Stop it. There's nothing to be anxious about. And when I get like that, I tend to forget. Oh my gosh, another customer, and it is like 3 minutes till closing, and another customer comes. I don't know what is up with these customers that come to, they wait till closing to come to get a bite to eat, when you have other places that are open like practically 24/7, and you come here where they close at a certain time. You've been here before, you know what time they close. Why do you keep coming at this time? Anyway, and then they get upset because, oh, you only have this now? Well, yeah, because they're closing. And by the way, I got fired yesterday because I was telling my son about that man that asked me questions, and my son was telling me, you can't do that, Mom. You're going to get us in trouble. They'll call corporate and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, so does this mean I'm fired? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. I haven't even started working in there, and I already got fired because of some man, that asked me if you were open. Anyhow, yeah, but like I was saying, I have to like stop myself, and during that time, I tend to forget to talk to God. I get so worked up and so overwhelmed. Hang on, y'all. Okay, I needed some water. I get so overworked and so overwhelmed that I forget to say, God help me, God, or quote a scripture like, God did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power and love and sound mind, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm bold as a lion, start quoting scriptures and fighting those thoughts and holding those thoughts captive under the authority of Jesus Christ. However, I get so overwhelmed that I forget to do that. I forget to stop and breathe. And that's another thing that I'm going to ask the doctor about. I don't know if I should ask the psychiatrist, the counselor, or if I should ask the doctor tomorrow, that I notice that I forget to breathe a lot of the times. And y'all are going to be like, what do you mean you forget to breathe? Yeah, like, you know how you always breathe through your nose or your mouth? Well, sometimes I tend to hold my breath with my nose, and I do not let it out until I feel like I can't breathe anymore, and then I'll let it out, and then I'll take a breath in. And I do that a lot. Why I do that, I don't know. I don't know if it's a way for me to control something in me, or maybe me trying to control the anxiety or the thoughts or any emotion that I'm feeling. But I've been doing it for years, and it's gotten worse because when I'm drinking water, sometimes I can't swallow my water because everything's being held, like the air's being held in my nose. How I managed to do that, I have no idea. But I feel like the water is going to choke me because I can't even swallow. It's a weird thing going on with me. And, yeah, I need to talk to the doctor about that. And I don't know if I should ask this new doctor. I don't want to freak the new doctor out. Like, oh my God, a new patient, and you're like overwhelming me with your mental health here. Or if I should tell the counselor, or maybe both. I don't know. These are little secrets that I'm sharing with you all. I've never shared this with anyone else other than my husband. But the reason that I'm sharing this with you all is because I know there's other people going through something like this as well. And I know that they use other forms to control their emotions, because I've been there as well. And one of them, I don't know if I could mention it or not. How can I say it? Because it's very sensitive. But people, when they do something to themselves, it's not really, I guess it is considered self-harm, where you get your arm and you kind of like self-harm yourself with an object, and that's how you control your pain. Okay, well, I used to do that, and I have very small scars on my arms. It wasn't so bad where I would do my inner thighs or anything like that. I know people, I don't know people personally, but I've heard of people doing that, and not just on their legs, but their stomach, anywhere they can find a spot, because it's a form to control your pain. And I feel that that's how I'm using my breathing. It's a form to control my pain and my anxiety and my emotions, if that makes any sense. And I don't know, God just put it in my heart to share that with you all. I'm not doing it on purpose by any means. I'm not doing it to self-harm myself by any means. But it's to the point where it's out of my control. And at least I'm trying to seek help for it. Like, tell me what to do now, because I don't know how to control it anymore. Like, I'm not even in control of that anymore. So, if anybody stumbles upon my video, let me know if you've had that happen. My son is coming. Customers do not want to leave. They're actually outside. Thank you for listening. I love you all, and I will try to upload this video and then the one from last night too. Bye.